It's 6:15, Wednesday, June 8th, Wednesday, and it's about 100 degrees in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. Finding a place to film is almost like trying to find a place in life sometimes. I've ceased from sharing some of my stories lately just because I just haven't found the encouragement I've needed to go forward with it, and I apologize if there's even just one or two people out there that want to hear the stories. I want to be consistent, though. I said that I would create a story per fan. For each fan of Centerport, I would tell a life story, and it's been really tough. You know, when you start a journey, sometimes people are gung-ho and they're with you, and then all of a sudden the encouragement dies off. And I've always been someone myself that has fed a lot from encouragement and everything. So there's just so many stories I want to say, and you know, I guess I want to say this. It's 10 months or 11, 12 months since I've been down to Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm pausing for a reason. I'm just really disappointed in the lack of encouragement sometimes from friends and family. It just amazes me. Sometimes strangers are kinder to people than people's friends and family, and you know, and I guess, and sometimes when I was driving out here today, I was thinking, you know, think of it in my mind, who could I talk to, who should I speak to, who's my audience? And I've thought a lot of different ways, and I thought about not telling my stories, but there again, I said I would, and I plan on doing so. But think of this as just part of a story, part of, you know, the 10 or the 12, the last year that I've been down here, that's part of my story. Age 38, come down to Louisiana, and there's a whole reason behind that, because I was in Fenton, Michigan, and it was a tough time. I was actually volunteering for the Chamber of Commerce there. I was just doing whatever I could do, and I was literally not even having food to eat at times. People might not know that, but there was a time, and then later on things improved by me getting a roommate, but even some people judge me for that because of how I got the roommate. And, you know, sometimes I see people give to churches, I see people give to all these causes. Sometimes the best thing we can give is a word of encouragement to someone. Sometimes that's the absolute best we can do. And I'm really shocked and amazed. The lack of support sometimes from people. And so who's my audience? I don't know. I don't know who's my audience. I don't even know sometimes if I should share my stories, but sometimes I get a glimpse that maybe it could be some benefit to someone, but they only want to hear the funny stories. So, I guess, well, I will tell you a funny story. Let me see how much time I have. Okay, I'll tell you a funny story. It's hard to tell funny stories when you're not in the state to tell them, because all I can think about is everybody's out to do their own interests. Everybody's out doing their own thing, and it's very hard for me to comprehend when we could do so much together, and we could literally change our lives if we worked together. I mean, we could be in a totally different place a year from now, but no one's going to believe that. No one's going to understand that. I've often thought, what kind of stories could I tell you? What stories do you want to hear? There's so many of them. People won't like this video, because it's me just pondering and thinking, but you know what? There's just so much we could do. But you know what? I don't think anyone's listening. I don't think anyone's listening. Really discouraged the fact that my family wasn't supportive, and when I started talking about my R3 model. I knew that would happen, but I needed engagement, I needed feedback, wanted feedback, requested feedback. It's very hard not to tell the stories. And I protect a lot of people on some of my storytelling. I protect a lot of people in my storytelling. Really, really disappointed in my friends and family. Very disappointed. And they could defriend me or whatever they want to do, but maybe we can't change the world, but we could change our own world. We could totally change the world around us. But everybody's in their own world. And that's why I tend to find myself just wanting to become more and more recluse sometimes. I'll even give myself to people, lay down my life, and I have laid down my life for people. We never get to those stories, and you wouldn't believe it if I told you anyway, so. "7 minutes of absolute nothing. But that's just about how I feel. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. I will never understand. As long as I try to understand, I will never understand the lack of support sometimes. The lack of follow-through. But I'll still follow through and tell stories as much as I can, because I said one story per fan of Centerport. So that's what I plan on doing. Even if I don't get the support of my friends and family, and the most important thing to me. I've worked on my model my whole life, and you would think they could just at least give some word of encouragement. But it's not going to happen, is it? I'll wait, and I'll wait. No feedback. So I'll tell some stories. I'll tell some stories.